Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Yes, I did wake up early enough in the morning to put together a live stream, and I was thinking, what do I want to do? Now, I actually, Sparky released a new version, and I did install Sparky, and I don't know, we can look at it if we want, but I thought that this question was much nicer. Somebody asked me this yesterday. They were trying to be privacy conscious and wanting to do the right things, so realizing Facebook's probably bad, going on to Facebook with Tor and then logging in. No, you can't do that. Can't do that. And so I wanted to, and I explained to her how to do that. So I'm going to do this video to say, hey, follow this video. This explains what I was trying to tell you at the dinner table last night. So anyway, and so with that being said, we want to look at how you can use, we're going to focus on Facebook, but this will apply to any other weird online accounts. And I'll tell you where I actually do use this. And just a little hint, it uses that stupid thing that I completely still hate called DNS over HTTPS. But hey, it's here to stay. Let's go ahead and use it where we can use it. So whatever that's worth. In fact, I did not, I forgot to pull up that video as well. I want to pull that up as well. So let me get that one queued up for my list, and we'll do that, and then we'll have a look at our comments, and then we will go ahead and sorry, HTTPS. All right, let's open this one up, and let's also go ahead and pause you. All right, so I got a couple videos queued up. All right, so let's have a look at who has made it today. We've got 28 folks on right now. Let's see if we can bump that up to 30 or 40 before we actually get started. Stan, the random staff, greetings. There's no possible way to go safe online these days. I completely disagree with you. We just have to keep security and privacy as a rolling idea as to what it actually means. We have to be conscious of our fingerprinting. We have to be conscious of our IPs. We have to be conscious of the accounts that we have, the emails, the services that we're using. But no, it is very possible to be safe going online these days. It's, just like saying, oh, it's not safe to go downtown New York City these days. Yes, it is. You just can't be an ignorant country folk and survive a couple nights in New York City. You have to have a little bit of street smarts. When you understand the street smarts and how things work, yes, you can safely walk down a dangerous city. Like I had my genetics and molecular biology professor in college. He actually was in Montreal at a time when Montreal was extremely dangerous. So he'd give you the street smarts. If you go to Montreal, he says you carry your wallet in a weird place and you carry a second wallet with a few bucks and you call that your mug money. And when somebody comes up to mug you, you give them the mug money and they think that they robbed you. And no, that's just the mug money. It's an insurance policy. We do the same thing with privacy stuff, and if you do that right, then you can get into that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that general concept in the video as we go ahead and get this guy recorded. All right, Keegan the Tennessean, greetings, listen to death metal. All right, listen to death metal. I assume you have seen the Mary Poppins death metal remix. I'm just, based on your name, I'm going to assume you've seen it. If you have not seen it, after the stream's over, jump on over to YouTube and look at the death metal Mary Poppins list. And you know what? No, I'm not going to play it. I don't want to risk some weird copyright strike. But somebody remixed Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious overlapped with the media into a death metal overdub. It is glorious, people. It is glorious. You got to check it out. Just got VirtualBox and Wine set up on new Manjaro installs so far. Created Manjaro VM for used for testing updates and package installs before applying changes to the machine. Very good. Then Game Boy, yes, we do an afternoon stream on Saturdays for the folks over the pond, unless, of course, I'm like having a really bad day. I did realize something. I actually have a whole separate video for Writing Done Right that I haven't posted this week. I was supposed to post a video on Wednesday, and then I was going to skip Friday or live stream Friday. I didn't get a chance to live stream because other things came up. And I look at my statistics, and I'm like, I completely forgot to post that video. It's done. I don't think I've written the article, so I'm going to get that article posted, video and article posted to Writing Done Right this afternoon, I think. Fun thing to do on Saturday afternoon. So we'll probably do a little bit shorter of a stream than I usually do here, just an FYI. so I can get a bunch of other stuff done. I'm still further behind on the audiobook production than I want to be, and I want to try and knock out at least the whole of part 2 I want done by the end of the day today, which means I'm going to be doing a lot of Audacity more than I want to. But oh well, such is life. All right, and I do almost have the store ready for Synaptergy, for the Synaptergy pre-release. So that's coming down the pipeline very soon. And I need to fix a couple lines of CSS code on the overall shop templating, and I need to push out a coupon code for you guys that are on the mailing list at synaptergy.com. You guys will get a coupon code, and I'll actually share that out with, I'm not going to personally share the coupon code out unless you're on the mailing list, but anybody on the mailing list that gets it is welcome to share it. That's kind of the way I'm running that. And then I'll have a separate coupon code on the channel, but the one on the mailing list is going to be better. So that should be coming down the pipeline. We should start seeing those next Friday is my goal. And the book release is set for 10 days from now at the 19th. However, since all of the craziness in the world, printing is really slow right now. So I have no idea when exactly print books are actually going to show up. But the ebooks, the audiobooks are going to be good. And I'm going to be doing a free, anybody who orders it, I think, up to a week before and up to a week after, we'll get the free ebook as well if you order a printed book, so you can start reading it immediately. And then I'll have the print books out as soon as I get them in. And I haven't checked all the distributors. I know we bumped the main distributors up to, I think they're back in almost full production, but still they're working through a backlog. All right, LJ, greetings to you. Hello, Mr. Loading. Kitty knows how to swim. Yes, he does. Ashton Snap says, bananas, bananas. We want Sparky. We want Sparky. Having typo. Do I have a typo? I might have a typo. I don't know. I can't spell. Let's see. Great to watch live show. Well, thank you, Scott, for showing up. Awesome. Super lame username. Right on time. All right. I know a very safe place. One of the safest. That's right. I know a safe place too. College campuses. That's not the kind of safe place I want, though. I prefer to be challenged. Some guys also gone from Grease and Titanic, as well as the several other heavy metal version songs. That's cool. I haven't seen any of those. Oh, channel. Oh, so that's the actual channel. Okay, that's cool. What's Sparky though? Sparky is a lightweight Debian fork of Puppy Linux. It's easier to install than Puppy, but it's supposed to be just a super lightweight Linux. Sure, we can have a look at it. Let's go ahead and dive on into the video though, shall we? Get that set up. Let me get that set up. Make sure we're good there. And then come on over here. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today I want to address a question that I received asking about, the best ways to use something like Facebook if you have to. And I know around here we're like, you shouldn't just ever use it. And hey, I'm kind of with you, but there are people who legitimately need to use services like this. So in this case, this was a friend of mine who is the secretary of her church. And of course, they need to use Facebook and stuff, but she does as much privacy things as conceivably possible. But she was doing some things incorrectly. And so I said, well, here's the better way to do it. And I think the way I was explaining it was probably a little bit hard to understand. So I kind of want to walk through the process that if you have to use something like Facebook, that you can use it with a little bit more security. Now, here's what we have as a general problem is that Facebook has its tentacles all over the internet. There are, I think they have about like 24 different tracking domains, and these are used in various ways and places across the internet to track, even if you're not logged in, they are able to track everything that you're doing, and they just tie everything in and collect all of this data. So what you need to do is you have to protect yourself. Now, as far as some people say, in fact, the very first comment I had when I got in here is it's not possible to go safe online these days. And I disagree. It just takes a little bit more intelligence and a little bit more diligence. Now, there's certainly some things, and if you look at privacy as a one point in time, this is my name, this is my phone number, this is my address, yeah, good luck. Good luck. I mean, Comcast leaked out all of the what are supposed to be private addresses, private phone numbers. You see all this kind of stuff. But if you change that paradigm of your thinking of what privacy is, and you understand that privacy is a rolling print of your life, it's a rolling constant collection of the various things that you do, you can recognize that you can stop and block a lot of these things and prevent a lot of companies from grabbing most of the data that you have. Of course, if you just don't log into anything, jump on the internet on Tor, no one's going to figure out who you are. Now, if you're using Tor and you log into any account, you've immediately de-anonymized yourself unless that account is explicitly and exclusively designed to be used on Tor. All right. Now, to dive further into this, about a year ago, I did a series of videos, and these were reclaiming privacy. And these were very interesting videos. I was kind of playing around with different formatting, and I liked the formatting, but they didn't receive enough views to justify the fact that they took me 10 times longer to produce. So maybe if I get to the point where I can do this full time, I'll go back to videos like this. But we looked at first this question that I introduced this video on. We looked at various operating systems, better ways to run email, how to privately browse the web. We looked at the privacy ledger, something you should be looking at. Why cash is your best bet for privacy and avoiding shoppers club cards at stores. So I kind of covered 7 videos on that are quite fascinating. Now, with that, what we want to understand is that we want to be able to block what a lot of these companies are doing. And so in order to do that, we need to start blocking some extra trackers and things. Now, I have on my website at switchedtolinux.com/privacy-resources, I have a hosts file. Now, I updated the host file today that in that I added the Facebook blocking stuff at the top of the file. So if you do not want to block Facebook, you can just delete those lines of code. But if you do want to block Facebook but still need to use it in some cases, I'm going to show you today how you can use Facebook and other services without actually giving up your privacy. So let's head on over to the desktop view here. And what we're going to do here is we'll open this guy up in the Archive Manager. And the other change I made to this file, by the way, is, oh, I thought I did. Oh boy, it's not uploading. I think it's downloading a cached version. I did upload a new version. I will verify after the video that it's the right version. I did check it though. I checked it 3 times. All right. This might just be a cached version from my web browser. But I added a block for Facebook stuff up on the top, and there's a whole lot of them. And what I'm going to do here is, let me go over and find that for you. I checked every other thing on here, but except that, didn't I? All right. All right. So here is actually that list right here. So this is actually the feed that is pushing into my blacklist on my router. So these are all of the ways that Facebook tracks people online. And again, I will make sure that this is up to date after the show is over so you can grab this. The other thing that I did is I changed all of these guys over here to zeros because 127001 is supposed to work, but on some modern systems like Ubuntu starting in 1804, sometimes these would knock out your internet. Also on Windows, sometimes these would knock out your internet. But if you changed all these 127001 to 0000, it would work everywhere consistently. And so we went ahead and I'm updating the file for those so you can put this in. Now what you're going to want to do is you need to boot yourself up a terminal on Linux and on Mac. You do the terminal. And if you're doing this on Windows, then you want to go into Windows, System 32, Drivers, Etc. which is etc, and then you can edit the host file. Now, I'll also say on Windows, you first have to go into your control panel, go into your folder options, and make sure that the checkbox is selected to allow you to view extensions for known file types. If you do not do that, then your system, when you try and make the changes to your host file, it's going to resave the host file as hosts.txt, and that will not work. So you have to show extensions for known file types, which, by the way, you should always do anyway, because you want to know for sure that that really is a .pdf, not a .pdf.exe that you're actually clicking on. So once you do that, though, then you just kind of go on into your host file. Like I said, on Linux and on Mac, it is just sudo nano etc hosts. Enter your password. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to block, you're going to go ahead and block all these files here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just go ahead and, for sake of example, I'm going to put in the Bitcoin miners, which, by the way, the new file will have more Bitcoin miners in it as well. I've updated that list to about 25 known Bitcoin miners. All right, so we just add these guys in. In this case, you would add your Facebook links, whatever else, add the whole contents of the host file. Now, if you're doing this on a terminal, it will take a little bit of time. Get in there, push yes, and we are now saved. Now, what will happen is anytime you try and access the file, now this is still going to work for me because I block this on my network level anyway. So what we're going to do is if you head on over to facebook.com, you'll see that it will not be able to connect because your computer is blocking you from doing it. In my case, I'm blocking this on a pfSense. If you followed my tutorial on doing a Pi-hole, then you will be blocking this on a Pi-hole. Now, the difficult way I used to have to go around is if you pull up your network, I believe it's network settings, not network connections. You pull up your network settings. This is a way that you can bypass this all over the place. You come down to your settings, and then you can go ahead and set a specific DNS server here. So if I wanted to use the Cloudflares, we can go ahead and add our Cloudflares, which is 1.1.1 and 1.0.0.1, and then turn off your automatic. Hit apply. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to show you here. And then once that's done, then you need to toggle on and off your network again. Now, all of your web browsers will bypass what is on your host file and on your, actually, I think it will bypass your host file. I know it will bypass your network settings. And then that will enable you to see it. That's the old way of doing it. But with Firefox having this new DNS over HTTPS, which, by the way, I am still highly critical of it. I did a video called Firefox Enables DNS over HTTPS, Good or Bad. I still hold, that is a very ugly face. I still hold, that's an uglier face, oh God. Why is no still video on a picture good? Anyway, I still argue that I do not think that enabling DNS over HTTPS is a good thing. I am not a big fan of it for the reasons I discussed in the video. But hey, it's here to stay. Let's go ahead and find the solutions that we can use with it. And this is one solution that actually has interesting applications. So if you have Firefox, you can come on down and go into your preferences, and scrolling down to your preferences down here, hit your network settings. And inside your network settings, enable DNS over HTTPS. Now you can choose if you don't like Cloudflare. This is an old version of Firefox. You should have 3 or 4 options in here as well. We're just going to do Cloudflare for now because it's perfectly fine for our example. Save this guy, and then you're going to want to restart your web browser. And now Facebook will work on Firefox. Now, if I pull up, not Firefox, if I pull up another instance of WaterFox, Facebook will still not work. So this way you can enable DNS over HTTPS on Firefox, still use Firefox for Facebook, and use WaterFox or any other browser for anything else. Or if you don't have multiple other browsers or things, you can just enable it when you need to use Facebook and just come right on back down to your preferences and toggle this back off When you're done using Facebook, if I can actually hit the close button, and then once you toggle that guy back off, it's now going to be respecting what's in your host files, and Facebook can no longer track you around the internet. So that is actually a very useful feature for DNS over HTTPS. So while I'm critical of it, while I think that there's some problems with it, while I think that it introduces as many problems as it solves, this is an interesting place. Me as a web designer, I oftentimes have to do things for people on Google accounts like Google Analytics or Google Ad Networks or things like this. And when I'm doing this, I used to actually have to go through, bypass the host file, bypass my network security settings, which would actually make my entire computer a little bit less secure. Now that Facebook, as Firefox has this feature, I can enable it just on Firefox, which I really don't use for things anyway. So I've enabled HTTP, DNS over HTTPS on Firefox, and I only use that when I have to access a Google account for somebody or things like this. And even still, I still turn it off when I'm done. But this way, as I'm using the rest of my stuff, I can be neck deep in a project, having my Waterfox open, doing all sorts of internet stuff, and not be putting my computer at risk, not letting Facebook track what they're doing, not let Google track what I'm doing across the internet. I can block all that kind of stuff, and then just jump over to Firefox for those few cases that I need it. Again, if Firefox is really your only browser of choice, just enable that setting when you need to use Facebook, disable the setting when you're done with Facebook, and Facebook will no longer be able to track you across the internet. This works perfectly fine for Facebook, works perfectly fine for Google accounts, Google Analytics, Google Ads, all that kind of stuff, and numerous other things as well. FYI though, Bitcoin miners are still going to work. All other ad trackers are still going to work. This is why I have a fundamental problem with using DNS over HTTPS, is it makes your browser, despite whatever security you have on your computer, despite whatever security you have on your network as a whole, HTTPS, DNS, I'm going to keep doing that. DNS over HTTPS makes your browser more vulnerable to tracking, to spyware, and to malware. That I get around other ways. But for those legitimate cases where you have to use a Facebook account, you have to use the Google accounts, Firefox will allow you to get around it and just deal with the limitations therein. So hopefully that video helped you to understand a little bit better about how this feature works, why this feature works. I'll go ahead and have the privacy resources and the good or bad video in the comments down here so that you can go ahead and take a look at those videos as well for more information on these. But those are kind of my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on this. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and go ahead and give me some likes and some comments down there. Or hey, go ahead and give me some dislikes if you want. If you want, I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Anyway, we'll catch you guys later. Hope you enjoy switching to Linux. All right. Now, be honest, guys. Did anybody think you'd hear a praise for DNS over HTTPS? Ooh. Do you have any info on self-publishing? Yes, I am an indie publisher. I can tell you all about publishing. In fact, my entire channel called Writing Done Right actually covers all that. Let me drop a link in the comments for you here. And I actually do have consulting services for that as well. So head on over to my Writing Done Right channel there, and you can get more information than you ever wanted to know about self-publishing. I do all of my books are all produced on Linux, and I have 6 published print books right now. I have one that's ebook exclusive, and I have a science fiction novel that'll be out here very soon, and we'll be doing work on that. Okay. Also, okay, let's see. Ubuntu Studio 2010 is switching to KDE. Yes, it is. Thoughts on so-called private tools like Brave, Disconnect, uBlock, Ghostery, Whonix, Tails. All right. Should we cover all these? Okay. Tails. I have a lot of videos on Tails. I'm a huge proponent of Tails. I have a little USB drive around that has Tails with a persistent drive and things like that. If you are doing security stuff, like privacy stuff through a computer on a virtual machine, Whonix is your best bet. Whonix and Tails are both awesome. Ghostery, I do not know much about Ghostery. uBlock is Considered very good. I personally don't use browser extensions unless I absolutely have to, but my Firefox build here is following my hardened Firefox, so we are using uBlock Origin on this. So yes, we do have uBlock is good. Disconnect. I don't remember what that one is. Is that the one that disconnects you if you fall off a VPN? I do not know much about that one. Excuse me. Got to get the Rona out of my lungs. And Brave. Brave is one I have been critical of, and I'm still a little bit leery of, but I can say that Brave does accomplish what they say to accomplish of being a good privacy respecting and ad blocking browser out of the box. So I would have no problem with Brave as a product. I do have a few concerns with Brave as the company, but the product itself is good. Tokyo, when I was there, I was able to walk after 12 a.m. and nobody bothered me. Even cops were still around on the sidewalk. One of the safest places to be. Very good. Very cool. Hello, Babbler. I'm good. How are you? Are you good? Are you good? I'm just going to... Never mind. I'm well. Can't have privacy as long as most people don't care about privacy. Well, you can have privacy for yourself and just be invisible to the rest of the world. Sounds like another good science fiction novel, right? Have the invisible guy that everyone relies on your cell phone trackers. A guy figures out if you leave the phone at home, then no one knows where you are. That'd be a neat concept. Facebook is whack. Yes, it is. DNS content control is the reason for HTTPS, and Cloudflare has been censoring content making corporate decisions. I have serious concerns about Cloudflare and DNS over HTTPS, except you can create your own private DNS over HTTPS and use that. But if you have that knowledge, you don't need your browser to be doing that. I think that this is more of a backdoor deal thing than anything else, personally. DNS over HTTPS will be re-enabled when Firefox is updated. You know, I actually saw an interesting notice after an update went through where it's like, hey, we now enable this by default. Would you like to enable it? Which I was like, and actually, I think it was the pop-up was, oh, click here to disable. I didn't stop and think, hey, let's ignore the pop-up and then check the settings. I didn't check that. Currently sipping coffee from the STL coffee mug. Awesome. Well, thank you, man. You can find your own coffee mugs at shop.switchedtolinux.com, which I'm not going to go there right now because there might be some special stuff at shop.switchedtolinux.com that I just haven't promoted yet. Of course, part of it, I don't know, I had to fight with them a little bit about it, but almost made me switch to Teespring, which I'm still holding out on that. I have to do that over here. Let's see if that's still up. Oh yeah, there's definitely some new stuff over there at shop.switchedtolinux.com that I haven't talked about yet. I'll talk about it soon, but you know. All right. Why does Firefox not have HTML5 support? It should have HTML5 support. Flash is going away soon. Yes. Is it the end of this year? I think it is the end of this year that Flash is officially dead. Which Debian environment is best for productivity and security? Well, I don't think either one is best for... I don't think either one of them has any security or privacy contemplations. So there's no difference. Between those two, I would just look at your particular use of a computer and decide for yourself what is the best for you. There's no... I don't see a specific one of them that's better or not better. It just depends on what your individual choices are. You mean the Chinese virus? Hey, you know what? Do not say that if you're in some places in Texas. Was it, I forget one of the cities in Texas. It was the same city that was trying to kick, or maybe successfully did kick, Chick-fil-A out, actually made it an actual hate crime to refer to this virus as the Chinese virus or the Kung Fu virus. They didn't say anything about Kung Flu virus, just the Kung Fu virus. So yes, if you say either Kung Fu virus or if you say Chinese virus in that one town in Texas, hate crime, you're going to jail. If somebody can find what city in Texas that was, let me know. Depends on what you want. Yeah, do you want GDK, QT packaging? I think KDE does a good job at both. I think they both probably do. Can Kali Linux make your PC more secure? No, Kali is not for more security. Kali is for penetration testing. Biggest problem with Facebook isn't the privacy, is how much control the company has on public life. Absolutely. XFCE, I guess XFCE probably works better on GDK, I guess. I don't know. I think they both manage it just fine. Have a good weekend, everyone else. All right, we'll see you later, Moonbase. Enjoy. San Antonio, thank you. San Antonio, yes. Yes. Is IPv4 over DNS the best way to circumvent strict captive portals, or is there a better solution? I couldn't answer that one exactly for you. Sorry. San Antonio. Yeah, do not go to San Antonio and say, I got the Chinese virus. I got it. Yeah, they'll lock you up. So I don't know. I wonder if anybody is listening in San Antonio and your volume is up high enough. I wonder, will you get in trouble for me saying it there? Or is the Texas Gestapo going to come here to my house in State College and we're just going to have a shootout? Pennsylvania versus Texas, guys. What's going to win? I don't know. We both got a lot of guns. Oh, boy. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've spent a lot of time in Texas, but I haven't lived in Texas. Who's more redneck? I mean, I think we're redneck. Pennsylvania, we are redneck. Actually, though, while Texas might have the guns, I believe Pennsylvania is the highest state membership in NRA. I think it's one of the highest. I'm trying to think if I actually want to do... You know what? I'm not going to record any video. I'm not going to record a video for later on Sparky, but let's just go ahead and have a look at Sparky. For you guys that are watching live, we'll go ahead and have a look at Sparky Linux. Who knows? Maybe I'll eventually do a video about it. So we're running... this is based on Debian 10, and... if it doesn't load full screen on me now, when it was last night when I first installed it, that's going to be funky. Installation was a little interesting. There's they have the advanced installer and they have the Calamaris installer. The Calamaris installer would not let me use my super secret password. That's definitely not 123. But the advanced installer did allow me to do that, although I couldn't use the same password for root and non-root, which those are things you shouldn't do on a production system anyway. We had a couple desktop environments. You have XFCE, you have what's the other one? There's another one that's a more obscure one, and there is Mate. I went with the Mate version here, so it actually is really sluggish on the virtual machine. I don't know if that's because, I don't know if maybe a Mate is sluggish on a virtual machine, but it is very sluggish compared to other distributions that I've used. Medikey doesn't work. I did install HTOP. So we are running at about 479 megabytes. So what Sparky used to be is a super lightweight distro. It's actually just about average when comparing similar distributions on similar desktop environments these days. Hey, look at that. We do have system upgrades available. So it does give us nice pop-ups on system upgrades. If I'm not mistaken... Let's see if that allows... Oh, wrong password for root. That's right. I had to do definitely not 123 root. See what that guy does. So here we have a few updates. We can see change logs. So this is actually a nicer function that you have a little bit more notifications and updates on a Debian-based system. I believe MX Linux does the same, though, and MX Linux is definitely smoother and more polished. But we're done with that. It did tell me on the advanced installer on the instructions you could choose your desktop environment, but I did not find that to be the case. We have, let's see, accessories. We have an archive manager. We have Mate font viewers, passwords and keys, just basically the type of stuff you'll find inside of a default Mate build. We have the full LibreOffice suite. Color selector. For internet, we have Firefox. We have Thunderbird for email, transmission. You get Pigeon, Hex Chat. Here's the full LibreOffice suite. Let's go ahead and see what version of LibreOffice suite and do we have plugins installed. Okay, I do not need tips on startup. Alrighty, we are running 6.432, very new version of LibreOffice. Is there a spelling checker? No, we do not have the spelling checker. We don't have spelling checkers, people, so we don't have any plugin support. So you'll have to manually install your spelling checker. Not a big deal, but extra step you need to do. Programmer, we have an icon browser. For sound, we got Cheese, VLC, Voco screen. For recording, XF burn. Why do we have... Interesting. I don't know. We have XF burn. For whatever reason. Basic information. We do have BleachBit, Kaja. We have a Deb package installer. I installed HTOP myself. We do have a live USB creator. A variety of other tools for Mate specific. We do have TimeShift installed. And basic, other basic information. All right, let's see. There's our control center. So let's have a look and feel. Let's have a look at other theming. The theming is, hey, it's Debian. It's ugly out of the box. We do have our old, more archaic looking guys here that definitely need to work on theming. We get this. Whoa, that was perfect. Perfect theme. We found the perfect theme, folks. We found one that's usable. There we are. That one's at least usable. All right, so got Menta. Okay, we just have a variety of just backgrounds there. There's something on the background. What is it? Ooh, nice. We'll just run with that one for now. We have our interface. We can show icons on buttons, toolbars, what things should look like. All right. Main menu, we have our Mate tweak tool, screensavers. So yeah, I mean, out of the box, it's on the VM. It does seem a little bit more sluggish. Theming is a lot to be desired if theming is your thing. Although, if you know enough about theming and stuff, you could download more themes, install new themes, stuff like that. You can, you know, it was really designed to be a super lightweight distribution. It's just about average these days as things are getting better and better. So, nothing much. I will say, though, Sparky has one amazing thing for it. This is the go-to distribution for the Amish. Kid you not. There is actually a Amish documentary where he's talking about managing how you manage a business in the Amish community, and they go to show the computer, and he lights a lantern up there, and then turns on the computer, and it's running Sparky Linux. So you know, that's that. LXDE. I didn't think it was LXDE, but maybe it is. I don't know. Let me look it up. Said since I decided not to do the video on Sparky Linux, I didn't do a whole ton of research on it. All right, so if we head on over to their downloads page, we have a stable and we have a semi-rolling. We have 32 and 64. LXQT, XFCE. Oh, you know what? I think it's the minimum GUI one that allows you to install whatever you want. I think it's the minimal ones will allow you to install whatever desktop environments you want. I'll have to look into that. I might have to look into that, and who knows? Maybe a Sparky video is coming down the pipeline, which will give us the actual information. Let's see. Mate looks like a cut down cinnamon. Yeah, so Mate is basically like it's like the old GNOME. So if I'm remembering my history correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. If I remember my history correctly, when GNOME went from GNOME 2 to GNOME 3, there were two splits. One of those wanted to keep GNOME pretty much how it was, and that became Mate. And then Cinnamon split off after the GNOME 3 to keep the same look and feel, but have the modern approach. There's a lot of things Mate does not do that Cinnamon does, like online accounts and a lot of more advanced modern desktop features. So Cinnamon kept the modern desktop features and the old layout, whereas Mate just said, we just want the old layout. And the kitty apparently is back from vacation. So, kitty, people have been missing you, and they want to know, how's the beach? Did you witness any arrests for anyone out there parasailing by themselves? Hype for Microsoft Edge. Ooh, yeah, hype. Actually, I do want to grab it and use it. Is it even legal to use Tor browser? Yes, of course. Unless it's not in your jurisdiction. If you're in mainland China, probably not. Here in America, yeah. Read it last week, but can't find the article. Well, if you can find the article, let me know, because I have not heard anything about that, and they're releasing stuff as much as ever. Thoughts on eLive? I've always just been fairly neutral about it. I don't think eLive is anything particularly special, but I don't think it's horrible either. I think it's a little bloated and stuff. Catch any fish? Did you catch any fish while you were swimming, buddy? Did you catch any fish? Huh? He's like, no, I didn't catch any fish. Can't use Pirate Bay on Tor. Yeah, there's a number of things you can't use on Tor, for sure. All right, let's look this guy up. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that Pirate Bay, is that not a torrent site? You can't use torrent sites through Tor. Yeah. That's never been a thing. Yeah, I mean, if there was anything about Tor, they laid off some people. Let's see. So their latest, this is the latest from their site. Back in April, this is almost a month ago, Tor, like most of the world, has been caught up in the crisis. Like many other nonprofits and small businesses, crisis has hit us hard. We've had to make some difficult decisions. We had to let go of 13 great people who helped make Tor available to millions of people around the world. We will move forward with a team of 22 and remain dedicated to continuing our work on the Tor browser and the Tor software. The world wouldn't be the same after this, and we need privacy and secure access to information will become more urgent in these times. Being online is critical, and many people face ongoing obstacles to getting and sharing needed information. We are taking today's difficult steps to ensure the Tor project continues to exist and our technology stays available. We are terribly sad to lose such valuable teammates, and we want to let all our users and supporters know that Tor will continue to provide privacy, security, and censorship circumvention services to anyone. You probably read a sensationalist false article that says, see, Tor's laying off people. They're going bad. They're going to burn. Because there's a lot of people that don't want you to use Tor, and that will give you misinformation and say, Tor, if you use Tor, then hackers will immediately gain access to your computer and steal everything. It's a bunch of nonsense. Latest version, 9.5.8.12, just up 2 days ago. So, Tor's doing just fine. Okay. Is the I2P network a good alternative? I don't think so. I would say that Tor is definitely the best for ultimate privacy. Plasma versus Cinnamon, which one's better? I think Cinnamon. Cinnamon is not as buggy. Its file manager doesn't suck. And it does not overwhelm you in settings and other things. Save net website because copyrights claim in the US. Wow. All right. Let's go ahead and feed the kitty. Hey, kitty, we're going to feed the kitty and we're going to get out of here because I forgot to post my video on Wednesday. I don't believe I forgot to post my video on Wednesday, but hey, it's been a really crazy week, so. There you go, buddy. Give us some bah. Get it, get it, get it. Yeah, you got it. There you go. And let's do one more for you right here. Are your finger licking good? Your finger licking good. Yes, they are. Alright, Kitty he has more tweaks. Tor is slow. Of course it is. Yeah, it's bouncing between continents, between each relay. Come on. IoT Kitty treadmill is on the way. Since I need a treadmill too, we could run virtually. There you go, Kitty. You're gonna have a IoT treadmill, okay? Because you're getting fat. Actually, he's not getting fat. He is fat. But as my friend says, he loves the fat kitty because there's more to pet. Right, kitty, huh? There's a lot more of you to pet. Yes. All right, guys, we're going to go and wrap up here. Next live show should be Wednesday at 7 p.m. at Distro Wars. We will probably take Monday off as usual, especially since I do have more footage to, hopefully, I have enough good footage to record another home cooking hacks video. I wanted to get one out last week, but unfortunately, the footage I had was just too bad, so I couldn't use it. So I got a couple more that I recorded. Hopefully we'll have those out. And Monday, no video. Tuesday, we'll be back to something. And then we will catch you guys later. Will there be a Sparky versus Puppy? Maybe, maybe not. It is on my list. Maybe I'll get to it. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. We will catch you guys later. Say bye-bye, kitties. Meow, meow, meows.